What? B.Dvine. Culture shock.
Let's go.
You've been in the game for a while, bro, right?
Doing
You
this
said
for a
20
while.
years, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of your favorite collabs at all? The 20 years, man.
Favorite collabs I ever done? I would say the joints I did with Tragedy Gaddafi. It's a fun record. Joints I did with Shaheem the Rugged Child. The joints I produced with Mayhem Loren. You know? As far as fun, yeah, I would say that, you know, it's always, because there was always little experiences that came along with it, you know, like funny moments and shit like that. So yeah, I'd probably say the joints I did with Trag. You know?
Nice. So like, what's more fun for you, hopping on the track or producing? Because I know you've produced a lot. You know what I mean?
It depends on my mood. You know, like today I was in a beat making mood. Yesterday I was in the mood to write.
Really?
You know? Like I wrote a verse yesterday, made 2 beats today. You know, it's just whatever flows easier for me in the moment, whatever I'm in the mood for, you know, I can't predict it. You know?
Word. So like, how do you source some of the beats, like for the samples you produce, or, well, let me rephrase that. How do you source the instruments for the beats that you produce, you know? Because there's like this wave instrumental that was on, what is it? Oh man, I forget the name of the track. It was like, actually, you created it for, it was, fuck, I forgot the name of it. But it was like in your beat mixtape, like your beat tape. It was purple. It was just all. You know what I'm talking about?
The rhyme regulators.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not all those joints were mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those were mixtapes I was putting out years ago. Yeah, I did a mixtape series.
Okay. Tell me about the mixtape series, man.
So basically, I was giving artists, you know, an outlet to get out there. You know, also, you know, getting my stuff out there. So I called it Rhyme Regulators, you know. So basically, I had people submit music for the mixtape. I had physical copies pressed up. I had a connection with a radio station in Connecticut at the time, WPKN. So I had the DJ spin the whole mixtape from front to back, you know, so, and then we put it up online. So it was just to give everyone every aspect of promotion that they're looking for. The mixtape, the physical copy, the airwave promotion, you know, the online promotion, you know, a little bit of everything. You know, I was doing shows in Canada at that time. I was, you know, throwing out the CDs and the crowd at the shows. Yeah, so like, that was the whole point of the Rhyme Regulators mixtape, you know? It was just another outlet, another grind, you know? Because with this music, it's a constant hustle.
Word. So like, for people who don't know, because many people might not know your story, how'd you get started in this hip hop? You've been in it for 20 years, which is a long time for anybody to be in the game.
I know, right?
You know?
I'm you know, my music age is older than some people around here, you know? But I started off as a DJ, really. You know, fell in love with hip hop, started hearing it on the radio, you know. I had a brother who was, you know, he was bumping shit like MOP and Capone Noriega, Mobb Deep, you know, so I started falling in love with hip hop. Then, you know, I met up with this dude, DJ Delight. He put me onto the turntables, and then he put me on the Wu-Tang. So I was just spinning records. I ended up getting a job at a record store, Point Blank Sound, over in Coram. You know, that shut down back in 2006, I want to say. But I was working there for a little bit. I had a, you know, friendship with the guy Trevor who owned it. You know, and then eventually went from me spinning records to like, I want to spin my own shit. So I gravitated more to the beats. So I started making beats, you know, and then probably, first years into making beats, you know, I ended up going to audio production school to become an engineer for music. I met my first artist there, D Ruggs. You know, we started putting together mixtapes together. I started producing for him. And then I ended up linking up with Solomon Childs from Wu-Tang. He's actually Ghostface's cousin. He was one of the first rappers I ever worked with. also at that time was this other guy, Timbo King, who was a Wu-Tang affiliate from Brooklyn. And then after that, I started linking up with Shaheem the Rugged Child. And then as as me and Ruggs were going, we started, we actually got a really big buzz at one point. Like we ended up, back when, FM radio was like the thing, we ended up getting on like we won some competition for some top 40 radio station. We went up there, got an interview. Yeah, like it was pretty dope. And then our BOCES teacher actually, he actually ended up getting us it didn't go through, but we ended up getting a deal with Columbia Records. Like we got an offer for it. We ended up turning it down. And then, from there, I just started pushing my beats elsewhere. That's when I linked up with Killer Shah first, rest in peace. I served him a couple of beats, and then that led me into meeting Mayhem Loren. I don't know if you know who he is.
No.
From, that show, Fuck That's Delicious?
Yeah.
Action Bronson, the other dude.
Okay.
Yeah, I've known Mayhem for a minute. And Action. But I was more acquainted with Action, I should be saying. But then, yeah, from there, I ended up linking up with this DJ J Love, who was Ghostface's DJ. He DJ'd for Mobb Deep and shit like that. Ended up producing a bunch of records for him. And then, going through, producing. I was writing little rhymes on the side and stuff like that. And then at 2012, I ended up linking up with Tragedy Gaddafi. I was like online trying to sell studio time because I was working at a studio at the time. I saw he hit me back in the DM or whatever. So I saw he was my favorite rapper. So like for him to respond, I kind of saw the opportunity there. Like, yo, let me try to build with dude. Like, yo, what's up? Like, what's up? We're getting a verse from you. Boom. He told me, what time it was. I honored my end of the deal. 2 hours later, sends me back a verse, and that ended up being the B.Dvine Revolution record.
Nice.
So from there, originally I wasn't even supposed to be rapping on that record. It was supposed to be him and J Love. And then like he hit me up. He's like, yo, when you dropping your verse on this shit? And that kind of sparked that battery in my back, where I was like, maybe it's go time for me after all, So then I dropped my verse. It was cool. I feel like I could have went harder, but I feel like that's everyone's, thoughts. And then from there, I was like, yo, fuck it, let's go. I was running around with Traj for, a good 5 years, I want to say. Along the way, I ended up linking up with Hands On. I ended up submitting him beats just on the grind. And he hit me up. He's like, yo, we want this one beat from you called Big Sky. Ended up being for the Meth Lab, which was Method Man's album. I didn't even know it was Meth's album. I thought it was like Hands On because he was like, under him or whatever. And then, I sampled the Eurythmics on there. What's her name? What's the singer? I can't even remember her name right now. Annie Lennox. I'm not trying to bash nobody at the moment, but a certain someone didn't want to clear the record when it came to sample clearance, so that kind of, scrapped me from that record, from that album. But then I ended up building a relationship with Hands On after that. We did the EP, Handsarelli. And yeah, in between all this madness that I'm telling you, to make this long story short, like I've been doing shows for the past 10 years. I've done shows in California, up and down the East Coast. I've done shows in Canada. And yeah, it's just been a constant grind since, producing for other artists, knocking out records,
Where do you draw your musical inspiration for the beats that you create, Because I've heard the beats you create. There's some soul. A lot of them are soulful. A lot of them are grungy. It's very versatile,
Yeah.
So like, where do you come up with it all?
It's just my sick and twisted imagination, I come from that era of hip hop where it was all soul, all boom bap, So I try to keep that, keep that vibe alive. And then, like as far as me, inspiration, life, As far as me and my rhymes, that's all my shit I write it's my life, It's my truth, and I make it for people who understand my truth.
Word. So, everybody nowadays, when they're talking their truth, they're not really telling their truth,
Absolutely.
So like, how do you stay away from that, How do you stay authentic with your music?
I just be me at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Take it or leave it, you know?
Word. Word. It's more so like if you can't fuck with me in my raw state,
Yeah.
you're not gonna like.
Yeah, you know, it's and
You're
you know
not
what though,
supposed to fuck with me.
and when
man.
you stay in your lane, that's when your blessings come. If you're trying too much to conform with what's going on, you just get thrown into the fucking meat rat. You know, like
Yeah.
you here today, gone tomorrow. You know, but when you stay authentic and you stay to yourself, you know, your true self, you know, like your blessings always come with it.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
You know,
What are some themes and messages that you often want people to take from your music? You know.
messages is, you know, be solid. You know, be about your business. You know, go make it happen. You know, like I'm almost like a motivational speaker in my rhymes at times. You know, like. I like that, you know, I like to make music that's motivating, you know, like, that's the time I'm on, really, you know? That, and I like to be creative, too. Like, I like to make you think, you know?
Word.
Because a lot of music, people don't think, you know? Like, it's
Most
just,
definitely.
you hear a catchy hook and, you know, a cool beat, and then you're saying a bunch of gibberish in between it.
Most definitely. One of your projects I was listening to, Free Will Refinement, right?
That's a single, yes.
This is in,
Yeah.
That's one. Yeah. But like, you're speaking a lot on that. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
how do you want people to understand the concept of free will and how that relates to your artistry and like, you know?
Well, free will refinement, I'm talking mathematics right there. That's the day I wrote, you know, I wrote that record on the 14th, you know? Knowledge, culture, freedom, all being born, the power of refinement. So that's where that title comes from. You know? So that's all based on that. And then I linked up with Young Dirty Bastard, and then he dropped his verse on it. We actually debuted that record on his first mixtape, A Dirty Tomorrow. Like right when the Wu-Tang Clan, they put out a Better Tomorrow. Like a week later, he dropped that mixtape, and that record was on there. Yeah,
hard.
absolutely. You know, shout out Young Dirty Bastard. That's my guy. We did like 8 records together.
Damn.
Yeah.
Worked with a lot of people, man.
Yeah,
You've been
man.
in and out of it. That's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
How do you like? So you know the biggest thing about not the biggest thing about hip hop, but like a big thing in hip hop is like ego. You know what I mean? So and especially with people when you start working with people of status and stature, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of people just have egos. How do you like keep your ego in check? You know what I mean? When you're rapping on a track with somebody like Young Dirty Bastard or working on projects for people like Method Man, you know, how do you stay humble?
It's not where I want to be. And, you know, if you have your head up your ass, you know, you're not. Who said it? It was Beanie Siegel. What did he say? He said, what is it? Entitlement is the thief of hard work. I'm pretty, if I said it, I think that's the quote he said, right? And that's
Something like that.
yeah, it was, but basically that's what it is. If you feel entitled to all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I walk into every situation like a fresh start. Like, listen, all right, I did a record with T-Pain, whatever. That was years ago. What's going on right now? You know, that's the time I'm on.
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like that's the time
You gotta know your
what I
value,
mean?
of
Yeah.
course. You gotta, you gotta know all that shit. 'Cause, you know, people are gonna take advantage of you, especially in this business. It's shady as fuck. So you gotta know your value, but at the same time, you can't just be, you know, you can't have your head up your ass all day.
Oh,
At least
most
that's how I
definitely.
see it.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know.
Like with this business being shady and everything, what's one of the hardest challenges you've faced in this business?
It's keeping people on the same page as you. You know, you gotta have like-minded people around you at all times. You know. So if you're chasing one goal, but then someone's chasing another goal, how are you all gonna get to the same point if this person's dragging your shit over here? Meanwhile, everyone's pushing. You know.
Yeah.
And if there's someone ahead of you in the situation, that's a positive thing, you know? Like, keep pushing that person, and then that person will pull you up. Well, that's how it's supposed to work, at least. You know,
Yeah.
but not everyone wants to stick to the plan. So that's probably, that's probably the, biggest challenge I see in this game, but, I don't let it stop me.
How do you overcome it?
Keep grinding.
I don't know.
You just got to keep going. Because eventually you're going to link up with the right people, and eventually everything's going to fall into place. You just got to trust the process.
Word. Trust the process, network. It's all about
Absolutely.
meeting the right people, you know?
Yeah.
You never know. who like you could talk to somebody who you randomly met just at a show, but then you guys have ideas that align, and now you're just going up with each other. It's all about the grinding, as you said.
Yep.
Most definitely.
It's all about the grind. It's all about the hustle, and just staying consistent.
Most definitely, bro. Most definitely.
I don't got a plan B.
It's just my plan A.
Yeah, I got plan A. I got plan 8.1, 8.2.
Yeah.
But nah, I ain't got a plan B. I don't pull out.
Exactly.
I know how to pull out. So. Yeah.
Word. So, do you have any projects coming up?
As of right now, I got the album out right now, Louvre Magnate. That's my solo album. I got the Hands of Ellie EP that I produced for Hands On. That's out right now. I got an EP in the stash with a producer from Utica, Styles the Shadow Figure. That, it's basically recorded. It's just me and him are just, figuring out the situation. I got my man K-Dog right here. I'm about to produce a project for him.
Shout out
And yeah, it's just that knocking out singles. I've been doing a bunch of features lately. I just did some features for records with they're not, it's also featuring records with Capadonna from Wu-Tang Clan. I'm dropping a verse for this dude on Monday that, it's also a record featuring Corey Guns. Or who else? Pace One, Vast Air, Illa G. Yeah, it's just staying consistent, submitting beats, Yeah. People need beats, holla at me, I'm out here.
You got any shows or anything coming up?
As of right now, no. I got, I'm planning things, but nothing's set in stone where, I'm going to be announcing it right now. But I'm always available, for shows, always available for features, always available for beats. So.
Word. Where can the people find you, man?
Find me in the streets, I'm out here, B.Dvinemusic.com, B.Dvine 631 on all the social media, B.Dvine on all streaming platforms,
Word. Definitely, right? Well, thank you, man, for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me,
Thank you, man, bro.
Peace. Appreciate you, my guy.
Of course, man.
What? B.Dvine. Culture shock.